Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Last time, we showed off Chloe as a party member and explored the Sapphill Tower, as well as made that annoying Duke Dunan leave Airletten, and there was much rejoicing. This time, I'm going to get right to this, because, yeah, this part is going to be packed in terms of side quests. I want to try and take care of every single other side quest in this region in this part, so yeah, let's get right to it. The first is at Mayor Dalmore's estate. So you might notice that something that was here before, well, isn't anymore. There's been a robbery here. And we already know what was stolen. No, we didn't already know, thanks to that Bracer Guild request. Yeah, Gilbert has a few comments if Chloe's in the party, which is kind of interesting, though I don't think it's possible to do this quest without her being in the party. It only opens up after she joins, and it expires when you go to Janus Royal Academy, at which point Chloe is still with you, so, yeah. Oh, so without one of those candelabrum, you can't go to the ultimate dungeon of Shin Megami Tensei 3. Thankfully, we're not going to have to track down and kill a fiend in order to get this one. Yep, we're certainly available. In fact, right now, it couldn't be any more available. Yeah, that must be worth a lot of money on the black market. And he's saying that right now. That's like what? How many ice cream? A lot of ice cream. A good point. So we're looking for a pretty well-connected master criminal here. Obviously, the Ravens couldn't have done it. Oh no, don't tell me Duke Junan walked in here and looked at it and said, "Philip, I must have that!" That's my best impression of him. Thing is, though, he kinda has an alibi since he was at Airletten. That which nests here is a beast more dire than any other. Continue to give praise to the spirit whose blue light was lost in the darkness. Free the spark it left behind, and I will be free. Ah, Seeker, the eyes of Adios see only the truth, and pass it on to you. Look to the three-eyed giant which towers over this settlement. Do so, and the blue light will be revealed. Phantom Thief B. Yep. Just like any good Phantom Thief, this one leaves a calling card. Or some kind of riddle. Yeah, we saw it glowing blue when we were last in here. Well, we definitely want to get that back then. The three-eyed giant which towers over this settlement. Well, we haven't seen any giants in this region. But as you can tell, it's a riddle. And that means that you don't want to take it too literally. If I know my national treasure. So yeah, National Treasure's kind of a guilty pleasure film of mine. I know it's probably not the best movie, but me and my sister have probably seen it a lot of times. So yes, it is time to put those National Treasure skills to use. Okay then. So Gilbert is basically telling you no need to look in the mansion, no need to question witnesses. Everything you need for this quest is outside. And off he goes. So we're left for our devices to follow this clue. Although we can kind of question some of the people in here. Did you see anything, Mr. Chef? Okay, yep, you're not even talking about it. You probably don't even know you were robbed, do you? What about you? Well, you clearly know we were robbed. But you don't have a lot of information for us. You can actually go back in here and talk to Gilbert, and you can check the card's details. We don't need to. It's actually in our Bracer notebook if you want to check that. And I accidentally moved the mouse a little bit while trying to press the Bracer notebook button. Candelabrum theft. Yeah, it tells you the three-eyed giant part. So, I'd like you all to think about these hints for yourself and try and figure them out. Pause the video now if you don't want me to spoil the answer to the first riddle, because I'm going to be heading there right now. So, what is the three-eyed giant? Well, with these kinds of things, you never want to take them literally. Towers over the settlements. Look at this thing right here. This lighthouse. The light up there has 3 bulbs. This is the three-eyed giant that we're looking for. This also gives me a definite Professor Layton vibe. I've only played one of those games though. I've only played Lost Future / Unwound Future / whatever the heck you call it. Its Japanese name I remember is Last Time Travel. But there's another calling card. We're hot on the trail of Phantom Thief B. And yep, just drawing attention to it, but if you pan the camera correctly, you can see this earlier. Ah, Seeker, the eyes of Edios see only the truth and pass it on to you. Look to the Endless Waltz which unfolds between the red and black. Do so and the blue light will be revealed. Phantom Thief B. So, waltz between red and black. As always, I'd encourage you all to pause the video and try and figure out the solution for yourself. I have shown what this refers to in an earlier part of exploration of this town, don't worry. I believe TV Tropes calls this criminal mind games. So, what is the Endless Waltz between red and black? Well, once again, pause the video if you don't want to find out right now. The answer lies in the casino and bar. I figured this one out pretty quickly on my first playthrough. It's the roulette table. Specifically, you actually need to examine this, the wheel itself, not talk to the guy here. Yeah, you probably don't need to know that someone likely broke into this place and left a note without you realizing. Ah, Seeker, the eyes of Edios see only the truth and pass it on to you. Rest at the land harbor and look to the one-eyed lion. Do so and the blue light will be revealed. Phantom Thief B. So this is a clue that a lot of first-timers have trouble with. Also, one-eyed lion, do you mean Dimitri after the time skip in Three Houses? Yeah, usually these kind of clues make more sense in hindsight. But I know exactly where we need to go. And don't worry, you'll probably sleep better at night if you don't know what just happened. Let's go to the One-Eyed Lion. So, what is this One-Eyed Lion? Well, again, pause the video if you want to figure it out for yourself. So, the land harbour is the most important part of this clue. They're referring to the ruined landing port, and that's why I made sure to go out of my way to show this place earlier. But the One-Eyed Lion is actually this haulage vehicle right here, with the one spotlight on it. Yeah, from what I've heard, a lot of people have trouble finding this. Also, there's this weird smiley face sticker on the side of it that I find kind of funny. Ah, Seeker, the eyes of Edio see only the truth and pass it on to you. Beyond the drawbridge, look to the barrels near the steel crane. Do so and the blue light will be revealed. Phantom Thief B. So, steel crane, like Estelle is saying, this one might simply just be a homophone. I wonder what a steel crane could be. But at least Estelle makes it clear where we have to look this time. And yes, we have reached the final clue. A few seconds, just like Joshua said earlier. Pretty sure Estelle's not that great with puzzles, so she doesn't really like having to do this. Okay, let's proceed onward to the steel crane. So, as explained, we need to go down here to the south block of Ruin. And yeah, steel crane, I wonder if that means, you know, the actual crane right here. This one wasn't even a metaphor, this was just a homophone. There's a steel drum behind you, but it's not the kind that the note referred to. Okay, guess they got moved there then. Seems like the Master Thief's plan had some unforeseen circumstances that mess with the clues. It is kind of a little bit of realism to one of these treasure hunts in that, you know, you can't expect the item that the thief hid something in to stay in the same place, especially if it's in a barrel right near a shipping yard. You'd think someone would move it sooner or later. But yeah, here's the thing, we found the warehouse key earlier, so I wonder if this dialogue changes if you didn't do that quest. I'm actually not sure whether it's possible to do this quest if you haven't completed that one. That's kind of the downside of always doing 100% playthroughs of a game, is that I actually don't know what happens if you skip certain side quests. Hey, Estelle got one, right? So let's go to that guy we helped earlier. Do you know anything, Portos? Well, he doesn't seem any the wiser. Hi there, Hog. Just one barrel. Okay then. That's pretty suspicious. And it was in the way of the crane. But what if you were there supervising us? I'm sure they'd let you. Yeah, good thing we helped out this guy earlier. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what happens if you didn't do the warehouse key quest. I mean, it'd probably help to say it's relevant to a crime. Nice line there. So, to the warehouse. Hopefully this will lead to some clue that will help us catch this phantom thief. Oh, hi Mr. Portos. Oh, wait a second. If you remember from a little earlier in this video, you might realize something's not quite right here. How did he get over here so fast? A duplicate key that even the workers didn't know exists? Very suspicious. Don't worry, we have Hog with us. I think we know all we need to know right now. Still, something's not right here. And cut, so the game can just put the model there. Hopefully we get what we want inside this thing. I mean, you'd think a candelabra wouldn't be all that heavy, although depending on the kind of metal it's made of. Yep, we found our thief's calling card. I must apologize most profoundly, for the barrel to have been moved was an error most inopportune, but the warehouse key was recovered and you have made it here. I will reveal the truth unto you. Your reward will be what you have sought. Look within the barrel. The candelabrum you find will no doubt be returned to its rightful owner. Ah, time grows short. We will meet again. Phantom Thief B. This one seems to have been updated. Maybe he was closer than we realized. Yep, he was in there very recently, and that can only mean one thing. Yep, Portos doesn't realize what we're doing. And he doesn't recall giving permission. I think we've been had. Unless Portos has a twin that he didn't tell us about. Looks like our Phantom Thief B is a master of disguise. Yeah, if you looked earlier, you would have seen Portos right beside the crane. Doesn't seem like he could have got inside the warehouse in such a short time. Yeah, considering how good of a criminal this guy is, they're probably long gone by now. Sadly, that is true. I love how you can see in the background there, Portos getting mad at Hog. And yep, the candelabrum is back, and unharmed it seems. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to catch the thief who did it. It seems, though, that money wasn't any real motive in this crime. Also, Joshua, how do you know it's a he? Could be a she for all we know. But yes, this quest was to recover the Sapphire Glim, not to catch the thief. So technically speaking, we get paid just as much if we let them get away. But I'm sure this is disappointing. After all, the Braces have now let basically 2 criminal cases slip away from them. And yeah, there's actually no other outcome of this quest. It always ends like this, as disappointing as it might seem. Let's just say that this will not be the last we see of Phantom Thief B. Yes, now I can go to the final Kalpa and summon... Oh, actually no. Yeah, the orphanage. That's our higher priority right now. Well, Agate's higher priority. Grumble, grumble. And there are a few other people in this town who need help right now. So, what he's saying is move on to other side quests and don't worry about this right now. Sadly, we don't exactly have the luxury of pursuing the thief at the moment. Not every job for the Professional Sidequesters Guild has to be open and shut. I guess that's just something else that Estelle and Joshua need to learn. True, well, that's just what I was saying before. Who was Phantom Thief B and what were they after? And why did they like leaving riddles for us? It was almost as though... Yeah, almost as if he was curious to see who would solve his riddles. Again, if it even is a he. Actually, we have full access to the estate right now, so not really. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have another opportunity to catch Phantom Thief B one day. So, as unsatisfying as it might seem, thus ends the first saga of Phantom Thief B. But our work is nowhere near finished. Our next port of call is the Ruined Cathedral, because there we will be able to meet a certain someone who we might actually know. This is for the quest Secret of the Old Map, and it's Jimmy, the guy we saved on the beach earlier. So, not saving him does not lock you out of this quest. You just get slightly different dialogue here, and the quest will not be worth as much BP as it normally would be. You actually have a longer time frame to save him than I thought. Basically, you can do it even on your way to checking out the orphanage fire. Pretty much any time before this quest is posted on the bulletin board. Not really, you just have a generic NPC model. So, turns out this guy is obsessed with treasure. What kind of treasure, you may ask? Well... yeah, Estelle's certainly interested in finding some treasure. An ancient map. It's the treasure of the dread pirate Scrymer! Reminds me a little bit of Ifrid from the Tales of series. Yeah, I guess this legend is probably more well known within the Ruin region. And we're definitely not from there. In fact, Ruin is about as far out from our hometown as we can get in this region. Work is a good way to sum it up. You're probably the first person we've met who doesn't like the uniform. So, from searching for a phantom thief to finding a dread pirate's treasure. Yeah, that area with the little cliff alcove that we could get into. He says virtually the same thing if you didn't save him earlier, but he just says, I went there and monsters showed up, so I thought that I might as well stop and get professionals to handle it. An X to the southeast of it. Why is it always an X? Thing is, though, the clues here are very vague, and this X is actually not even on the same screen as the original pit was. In fact, you don't even get the X marked on your map or anything. You don't even have a physical map for this one. This quest is a little weird, honestly, and in fact, if you do what Joshua says, you're probably going to be very confused. Yeah. And, well, that's kind of a text bug. I feel like that's because of full screen mode. Again, this game was not exactly designed for that. But I get better quality if I record in full screen mode, so I kind of have to. Honestly, this is actually better advice than following the map. Just comb every inch of the beach. Fortunately, I know exactly where to go. No, it wouldn't, but sadly this is all we get. Well, I guess that means we're going to get reduced pay from this. So, before we go to the Gull Seaside Way, let's take care of one more quest that we can accept back in town. This one comes from the Orbital Factory. This is a request for maintenance delivery. This one is actually pretty interesting. This quest has a ton of alternate dialogue. So, who is this maintenance kit for? Post haste, what are you, Edgeworth? Good news is, there's no penalty for this at all in gameplay. We can carry as many heavy items as we like. Well, that doesn't sound good from a safety standpoint. We have to take this to Vault, the Lighthouse Keeper. So yeah, it's actually possible to have not completed the Lighthouse Monsters quest or even met Vault at this point. If you haven't, you actually will end up doing both quests at the same time. And there's different dialogue for it. Also, the part where Vogt talks about Cassius Bright and Estelle and Joshua muse about that, there's additional dialogue there if Chloe is in your party during that scene. So yeah, I've actually gone ahead and loaded an earlier save file and recorded some footage from that I'll show in a bonus video. Because it is very interesting, there are actually 3 different variations on this quest. The first is if you haven't even accepted Lighthouse Monsters. The second is if you've started Lighthouse Monsters but haven't finished it, and that's the one that I'll be showing in bonus footage. And the third is the one you'll see now, which is if you've completed Lighthouse Monsters. Also, there's even more branching dialogue to this quest because there's one other additional thing you can do, but it doesn't relate to bonus BP. This is a very rare quest that has a reward that is not bonus BP, but it is still missable. You don't need to get this, but I would recommend it because it is very useful. So a little bit of backstory on the Lighthouse Keeper here. It makes sense he'd definitely be lonely. Yeah, definitely. The ships would crash into the cliffs if not for that. But I do feel kind of bad that he has to be all alone there. And he used to be a fisherman. Now remember this because this is actually important. He rarely gets a chance to have his favourite drink anymore. So there actually is something else we need to do before going there, but first, now that we're here, let's go ahead and get that last quartz that I don't have, cast 2. Yes! And with that, let me just quickly check. I think we should have, yeah, we should have everything here, no zeros. And while we're here, I think I can actually open up the final slot in Estelle. Yes, I can. So her entire orbment is open, and Joshua's entire orbment is open, and Chloe's starts is already open, so everyone's slots are open right now. Might as well put cast 2 on Chloe. Interesting, EP cut 1 is enough to give Estelle lightning, so I guess I'll go for that. So that additional thing that I was talking about, if you talk to the barman here at the bar, after you accepted the maintenance delivery quest, okay, so you must have been around when he was still in town. Well, there's no gambling in here right now. The Azalea Rose. That must be the favorite drink that was mentioned before. If we're going over there anyway, we might as well bring a drink for him. So yeah, this is not actually formal. So it's not worth any additional BP, but it is still worth something. And remember this, because you don't just need the Azalea Rose, you actually need something salty to go with it. Minoria's specialty, salted anchovies. Okay then. As it turns out, we'll actually be heading to Minoria Village for another quest anyway, so let's go ahead and pick up one of those anchovies while we're there. And on the way, we can comb the beach for treasure, so yeah, we are very busy in this part. So, I'm just going to cut right to the chase and grab that treasure immediately, because it's actually on this screen, the third area of Gull's Seaside Way, not the second. We basically just have to follow the beach. Okay, so that's probably a better tip, because if you look very closely at the map here, you might be able to see a faint blue line. Yeah, this beach continues a little further than you might think, and that whole area is traversable. If you head here, you can actually proceed into a slightly hidden portion of this map. And if we keep following the path around the cliffs, wait for it, we eventually come to a small beach with a barrel, skull daggers, and torn map. Both sound very piratey. It looks like we found our treasure. Well, that's interesting. Oh no, what if it leads to 1 rupee? Joshua doubts it, but he's actually wrong for once. This is the treasure, so by getting this barrel we can complete the quest. See, it's cargo from a shipwreck, but don't pirates cause a lot of shipwrecks? Yes, accidents, or caused by pirates. So one interesting thing to mention about that barrel is that you can actually find it before even accepting that quest. In fact, it's very possible to find it on your first visit to Gull's Seaside Way, and if you do that, the dialogue is shortened a little to remove all mentions of the map. And if you have done that, then you can complete the Secret of the Old Map request the first time you talk to Jimmy in the chapel. You'll just immediately hand over the map and the daggers, and then bang, quest done. So, if you've already played this game, that can save you some time. Personally, I wanted to wait until now because it doesn't really make sense to do it early. Okay, here we are at Minoria Village where, would you believe it, we actually have one more side quest waiting for us. But before we do anything else, let's go to the shop here and buy a salted anchovy. You have to scroll down a little bit to get it, and I'm just going to buy 3 just in case. Okay, salted anchovies, get. We now have everything we need to complete the lighthouse request, but first, if we go over here, we can see that the orphans are all playing together. Yeah, tell me about it. So, this lady's outside of her house. She's the one who has the escort request for us. Thankfully, this one is not nearly as bad as you would think. Crone Trail, yeah, we're just going all over the Ruined region, aren't we? Okay. Why would you want to go there? I've already cleared out both chests. Rare plants, huh? Interestingly though, this quest is actually simpler than it sounds on the bulletin board, so Estelle's kind of wrong here. No, but I guess rare plants have a lot of different uses. Okay, I see a distinct lack of man here. So yeah, you don't actually need to escort him to the trail because he's already there. All we need to do is just go there. Oh boy, why do I get the feeling this guy's going to be very difficult to deal with? Taking off on his own even after he's put in an escort request. NPCs. If there's one constant in this universe, it's change and NPCs being morons. Well, I guess we better get there by sundown. Not that the day will advance at all. No, we didn't. We know where he's going. We can head there. And we're actually going that way anyway, because we need to drop off that delivery to the lighthouse. I feel like if we're not going to go there, he won't be coming back. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and heal just before we head out. I mean, they said the Crone Trail is dangerous after all. But first, let's take this fork in the road and head to the lighthouse. So, if you haven't completed the Lighthouse Monsters quest, Volk will be right outside the door. But if you have to go all the way to the top of the lighthouse to deliver the maintenance kit. If you haven't completed Lighthouse Monsters yet, once you complete it, you'll actually deliver the maintenance kit right afterwards. So yeah, obviously the dialogue is a little bit different if this is your first time doing a job for him. And this is that additional part of the quest that I was talking about. And you get the option to be a jerk. Let's not do that. Because you need to hand over both of these in order to get the additional reward. They seem to be going pretty good, but they all seem to miss him. He's slowly changing his opinion on us. I said slowly. So, what do we get for going out of our way to be nice to this guy? Work helmet, but more importantly, gladiator headband. So to anyone new to the Trail series, any item with gladiator in its name is amazing. Trust me, you want to make sure that you use anything with gladiator in its name. So it seems like this guy used to be quite the adventurer. Yeah, you need to guide those ships after all. Let's not have any additional shipwrecks if we can help it. Still, classy as always. So, maintenance delivery is done. Why did I say that gladiator headband is so good? I'm going to actually be giving this one to Chloe. So, gladiator headband, it does lower your defense a little bit and increase your strength, but the main thing is that the rate at which you gain CP for doing damage or taking damage increases by 10% while you have that equipped. Giving it to Chloe makes her S-craft even better, because very often with the gladiator headband equipped, she can get smacked with a heavy attack and she'll instantly get her S-craft. and you can just whack that button and heal off all of the damage your party took from the attack. It's kind of insane, but gladiator items get even better than just the headband. For now, though, I'll cut to the Crone Trail, because that's where our next quest will take us. Okay, here we are at the Crone Trail. The person we need to find is actually pretty deep into this place. Still on the first screen, though. I think he's around about here. There we go. And of course, he's already getting attacked by monsters. Hang on a minute, I recognize that name. But we'll see more after we finish off these eggs, which is going to be quite easy since we have White Gahana, and with range 1 it actually catches all of them in the radius. These things are pathetic at this point in the game, so yeah, I don't really feel the need to elaborate much on this battle. They're all just going to die very, very quickly. That should already be 2 of them down. Flare arrow is kind of nothing to us. I just realized that I forgot to talk about Chloe's voice actress in the last part.
We're good to go.
I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't, because it's actually kind of important to the other game that I'm currently playing on the channel. Or at least it almost was. But yeah, we actually know this guy. We did a quest for him all the way back in the prologue, back in Rollins. Yep, it's that jerk merchant from earlier. Small world, it turns out he's actually Amelia's uncle. Yep, pretty much sums it up. It looks like he still is a client too, so definitely shut up. You're not exactly making it easy, though. Yeah, now you finally understand why this guy came to a dangerous place to look for rare plants. Yeah, turns out that that thing is, yeah. Makes sense there wouldn't be much demand for something that attracts monsters, from a cooking standpoint at least. It could be pretty valuable as like a weapon or for hunters. Maybe you should think about selling to different people. Yep, Orvid was the guy we were tasked to escort the whole time, and Estelle's only just realizing that. I do like how even minor NPCs that you only do side quests for do still get fleshed out over the course of the game. There are quite a few recurring characters among them. And yeah, I feel like this quest would change dialogue if you didn't do that one all the way back in Roland, so like I said, this game does have a bit of a subtle X will remember that system. No, talk to her now. Yeah, looks like this guy is still a jerk. And unfortunately, we do have to escort him. We don't just get zipped back to town. So, yeah, I'll see you back at town, but I do want to go get into one fight just to try and get Chloe to finish it, because I haven't actually shown Chloe finishing a battle before.
Well, that takes care of that.
So it might not be obvious from her voice clips, but Chloe is actually voiced by Christina V, who many of you on this channel may know as the voice of Edelgard in the trailers for Fire Emblem Three Houses, though only the trailers. And the moment we get back to Minoria Village, we have safely escorted this guy. Thankfully, his house is the one right next to the entrance, so that saves us time. Also means we can get this guy out of our hair as quickly as possible. Yes, maybe? He's certainly acting a little bit nicer now that we've saved his behind. Speaking of future successes, why don't you make your family relationship more of a success by talking to your niece right now? Nope, he's gonna dash off to his next business job. Yeah, that guy is still kind of a jerk, but you can actually get a bit of an optional conversation if you talk to Amelia in here. You don't need to do this to complete the quest, but it's nice to reassure her that he's safe. Because otherwise she'd never know. Yeah, very true. And, yep, he's also Zack's uncle. Okay, then. Paying in teeth, though, reminds me of the orcs from Warhammer 40k, who literally pay for things in teeth. So there's only one more thing left to do, and that is to report to Jimmy, so I'll see you back at Ruin. Well, that was some pretty lucrative Shining Palm slaying, but yeah, the experience you gain from them does drop off pretty quickly. As I said before, the Trail series generally does not really let you get that much further than the level they expect you to be at any given point in the game, but Shining Palms are still great for Sepith. And here we go, let's report into Jimmy and get all of our jobs done. Don't get too excited, it could just lead to 1 rupee. Yep, it was really a map from the Dread Pirate Scrymer himself. Ah yes, once more National Treasure logic. The clue leads to another clue, and that will lead to another clue, and so on until you hopefully find the treasure. Well, a famous pirate certainly wouldn't want their treasure to be found easily. And tell me about it, One Piece is still hasn't even finished. And we can actually keep them, which means we get +1 to our weapon count because those daggers are actually a weapon for Joshua. However, well, you'll see. Well, hopefully it doesn't lead to some horrible shark-infested waters. Let's just hope he doesn't need our protection services anytime later. Huh, we know that guy. Chloe apparently doesn't. I love how he just jumps over the pew there. Actually, wait, Chloe does know O'Neill. Yeah, he runs the general store here. He has a lot of stories to tell about his sailing days. So it makes sense that he'd like to hear Jimmy's story about this treasure. Maybe the two of them are partners in treasure hunting. Well, you believe a little too fervently in certain things too. And Secret of the Old Map is done. Why I was a little bit disappointed by getting the daggers is that they lower your ATS by 10. And I don't really like that on Joshua because I like to spam White Gahana with him. So, I might as well report all of these quests now. So, maintenance delivery, no bonus BP, but you do get the gladiator headband if you give him the drink and the food. Secret of the Old Map, +2 BP for saving Jimmy earlier. Escort job. Candelabrum theft. And make him leave. +2 BP for resolving it diplomatically. So, we've actually got a pretty big amount of BP right now. We're well on our way to having maximum BP for this chapter, and in fact, I think we've actually completed every side quest in Chapter 2. The only thing that's left is to head to the school and help out with the play. So, I will see you next time for School Days.